Hello and welcome to a new vlog and video of the cruise vibes, and it is day 2 on board of the Lady Cristina. Yesterday we started the cruise in Frankfurt and now we are in Speyer. We are arriving early in the morning and leaving in the evening, and here on the map you can see our route today. And we are starting early in the morning with the breakfast, of course, which was very nice with a nice selection, and after that it was time to leave the ship and discover Speyer. We had a very good docking location. It's a walking time of about 15 minutes into the city center, which is the shortest possible in Speyer. And also the way is quite nice, walking along this street through a small park, and then you get into a much nicer park and you have to cross this park, always heading for the cathedral. You can always see the towers of the cathedral, so it's impossible to get lost in Speyer. And once you are at the cathedral, you're also at the beginning of the city center. In Germany we have 3 cities nearby with a cathedral, which are Worms, Mainz and Speyer, and in my opinion the cathedral in Speyer is the nicest, also because right next to the cathedral you have a very beautiful city, also in my opinion the most beautiful from those 3 cities. There are also some more interesting churches that are worth a visit. St. Joseph and Gedächtniskirche, both of them are right next to each other. Here you can see them. I couldn't go into the Gedächtniskirche, wasn't open yet, but probably also worth seeing. But then we headed back into the city center and walked a bit through the old town of Speyer, which is along the Maximilian Street. But it's also worth going a bit north of that, for example to the fish market and the wood market, Fischmarkt and Holzmarkt in German. Those are big squares, and from there you can go to the Mittelsteg, cross the small Speyerbach, small river, then go through the Hasenpfuhlstraße, Rheintorstraße and the Sonnengasse. All of these streets are also quite beautiful, and they are a bit off the city center, so not all the tourists are going there, but it's worth to just shortly go there and also see this part of the city. It's also quite beautiful, and if you follow the streets that I just mentioned, you will automatically come back to the north side of the cathedral. And that means that you're then again back at the city center, the Maximilianstraße. When you're in Speyer and you're interested in technology or you have children with you, it's highly recommended to visit the Technik Museum Speyer. It's a technology museum. For example, they have a Boeing 747 displayed and multiple other aircraft, ships. A lot of interesting things. You can spend a whole day there because it's a huge, a very interesting museum. You could also visit the sea life or the historic museum of Pfalz, of the Pfalz area. So a lot of things you can do here in Speyer. Speyer is also linked to pretzels. Nobody can definitely say why, but you will find a lot of links to pretzels in the city. For example, you also saw the so-called Brezelbuhr on the traffic lights here. And then we walked back to Our Lady Cristina for a lunch, and before heading back on board we took a few pictures of our beautiful cruise ship. And then, as I said, it was time for a lunch. Lunch was a different style of cuisine today. I would say it was home cooking style. It reminded me a lot of eating at my grandma's, for example. So it was very, very good, but easier style of kitchen. No fine dining, but home cooking style, but still very, very tasty. Everything was done very well and it was very good. Just a different style of cuisine. We spent the afternoon on board with playing a few board games, which you can borrow in the library, for example. Watching the other ships going past us. Just enjoying the nice weather on the front terrace of the ship, so it was a very relaxing afternoon on board. Of course, there was enough time to head back to the city center, but we decided to not go to any of the museums and we already saw the city center, so we decided to stay on board. In the evening it was time to set sail, but the Viking Mani was leaving before us, and whilst they were already on their way, to their next destination. We were still in the preparations for the sail away, but just a few minutes later we were also ready and leaving the port of Speyer. Our next destination will be Strasbourg in France, where we will be arriving tomorrow morning. So we're now sailing the whole night, and before heading to dinner I went to change to my cabin, and here we can see the view from the cabin balcony, from the French balcony aft of the ship. Of course, there you have a few more engine noises, but I can even sleep better with engine noises, so for me that was the perfect cabin. And then it was time for dinner. Dinner was fine dining again, a very nice quality, as you can see, very lovely, and I really enjoyed dinner. It's quite common for a river cruise ship to have a more home cooking style cuisine for lunch and then fine dining for dinner, and it was like that here on the Lady Cristina as well. And then of course we headed again into the lounge to listen to the very nice voice and songs of Charlotte whilst enjoying the scenery. Of course the Rhine is not that spectacular on that part of the river. There's not too much to see, you will mostly have trees on the side, and at this part there are even almost no cities at all till we reach Karlsruhe very late in the evening. After the late night snack we met an oncoming ship. It was the Arosa Silva. Here we can see her heading downstream whilst we are continuing on to Strasbourg, and we stayed until around midnight, waited until Charlotte played her last song, and at that time the lounge was almost empty, so we decided to also go to sleep. But before that we could watch the ship sailing past the industrial areas of Karlsruhe. But that's it for this video. Tomorrow we will continue in Strasbourg. Here you can see when this video will be uploaded and the name of the song. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please comment, like or share the video link. And if you want to see more videos like that about river cruises, or traveling in general, make sure to subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next video then.